What's up, good folks? Hopefully, everybody is doing well and doing them in the most bona fide way that they know how. It's feeling like fall here where I am. So, fall is slowly but surely approaching and making its presence known. And I'm just loving the weather. I'm loving this type of vibe because I happen to love the fall probably because I was born in the fall, right? It's interesting because there was a sister, there was a sister who, who is actually one of my favorite people to tune into, and she had like this excited feeling, and she went on to say how um, that the fall is her favorite season and she loves the fall weather and the fall vibes because she's also born in the fall. Actually, this month she was born in the month of September, and I was like, wow, she's literally speaking my thoughts. So I'm feeling the vibe. I'm really enjoying the fall vibe, and I love out here where I'm from. I'm sure in a lot of other places too, we emphasize like the hoodie weather, like, oh, I can't wait till hoodie weather, and I love the hoodie weather. So it's a vibe, and I'm just loving it. And as well as all of the other feel good things that there is to appreciate and to value and to acknowledge and recognize in life. Sometimes it's big things, and sometimes it's just small things, and sometimes it's people. Sometimes it's the people that you have relationship with and the people that you interact with, and just a lot of different things. One thing that we don't talk about commonly is the things that some will say is the fruit of the spirit. You should be aware of those who, they it's actually something that is that has been said quite a few times. I mean, that I have come across. But being aware of people who, being aware of people who envy or is jealous or feel a negative way about your gifts, things that it's not even so much about things. Some people, they really feel a negative way, or they feel jealousies or envy towards people. They have hidden animosity and toxic, it's a toxic trait. It's a toxic character trait, but they have negative emotions and negative feelings towards people because they think that they have certain things. And sometimes it could be things, and sometimes it's not even certain things. Sometimes people are jealous and envious of people, or they dislike them or have negative feelings towards them just on the strength of the gifts that people have within them. Some people say, oh, I'm one of God's favorite, or just the favor that they have on their life, or because of the fruits of their spirit, their character, their personality, their charisma, different good character traits about them that they can see in certain people. Some people see certain good, great things in people that the actual person that they see that in can't even see themselves, right? That's why it's always good to know your strengths and your talents, and as well as your weaknesses. But knowing and recognize your gifts, what they are, if you have them, and identifying what they are, right? Some people aren't jealous or envious of the things that you have. Some people are jealous and envious of your peace, the potential that they see in you, knowing your power, knowing that you are great. Some people are jealous and envious of the relationship that you have with people, the connection that you have with people, the influence that you have with or on people. Hopefully it is positive and it is good, or it is righteous. Some people are so unhappy and miserable with themselves that they can't see the good in other people, or look at the good in other people that should outweigh the bad, or to congratulate or just be happy for other people, or just let them do their thing, because they there's a lot of hidden self-hatred and dislike within oneself, a lot of unresolved issues within oneself, which is so common, something that is so common. People aren't necessarily hating on some people because of the things that they have, but they hate on them because of the spirit that they have, because of the intelligence that they have, right? Because of their boldness, because of their confidence, because of their godfidence, right? It's a godfidence. It's something that is not it is not a performance. It's not something that is something that is, it's a trying thing, or it's a facade. Some people are just absolutely authentic and genuine within themselves, and they just have this thing about them. It may be a light. There's this beauty about them, right? And there is this uniqueness about them, their spirit, their soul, and on the outside, but then in the inside as well. Fruits of the spirit, having a connection to spirit, being able to relate to people of all walks of life, right? Having the confidence and the courage to stand in your convictions, to be, to stand on your beliefs, and to be confident in that, right? To be yourself. So many people are trying to be other people, and let's not mistaken it for, people that resonate with people in, certain places that they go, or certain people that they associate with, and, where they are resonating, or where they have been in contact with certain people, or even in their families and things. There's a difference between resonating with someone and, sharing alike views and things, and then people that blatantly try to become someone else, right? There's a difference. So, it's really crazy, because these same type of individuals who are not really happy in their soul and their spirit, right? They're so jealous, and they're so envious, and they so have they get off on control, right? They just have this itch for control. These same individuals, they worship things more than they worship things that actually matter, right? Because if I was a billionaire, I would be the same type of woman that I am today, right? I wouldn't become a billionaire and then, have my ego, overinflated ego is what I'm trying to say. Right? But there's some people that are absolutely lost, and they don't know whether they're going or they're coming. They wouldn't know what to do if they didn't have certain things, right? People worship things, and they base the value in their communities and in their circle based on what a person has: their car, their home, their credit score, the shoes that they wear. I like nice things, like I'm a shoe head. I like nice things. I love nice things, because the beauty and the aesthetics is what I absolutely, I just love it. And it just could be, that part of my, a part of the astrology and a part of my zodiac sign. But, it's not something that I worship. I don't worship material things. And that's where people get it wrong. There's a lot of lost souls out here. Again, if you take their things away from them, they wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't have the slightest clue where to start. They wouldn't have the slightest clue or know what to do in the world if you take their things away from them. They would lose their mind, because people identify themselves and others, and sadly were raised like that, because people in their family, their elders, and people that were over them, who helped to raise and mold and build them, told them they based their value based off of things. Oh, you're not this, or you're not that, because you don't have these material things, or you're not in this. It's like, as I said, in this tax bracket, or if I was a billionaire, I would remain the same type of woman. The same type of woman. But it's so crazy to me that people, they feel as though they base their value and their importance off of the things that they have, and they think that that actually impresses some people, and that's what you call small-minded people. You know, it's almost like a bird brain, because they, you know, birds of a feather flock together. So, you know, the type of individuals that are around folks that think the same type of way. If you don't have this or you don't have that, then, you know, that person is not important. And it's like they don't feel as though they're important, and they don't feel like they're high value if they don't have certain things. And then when they come across an individual who is, you know, tapped in spiritually and is very intelligent, you know, they feel as though, oh, you know, and it's almost like in a small way, it's like there's some type of resentment there. There's some type of envy or jealousy there, right? And people will be mad and they hate on people for reasons that they can really obtain, for gifts that they have that they can obtain on their own if they only applied themselves, right? Like exercising your mind muscle, like reading and doing research and you know, developing yourself intellectually, and really working on your spiritual nature, and working on your relationship with God, working on the relationship with yourself, always having an intention when you wake up to be a better person, to always just try to be a better person, and to, you know, be your highest self. Those things are free. It takes work, but they're free. And people, they really are jealous and envious of people who are considered to have these gifts or these character traits. And it's really sad, because when you think about it, when you take these things from those same type of people, they don't know who they are for real. They don't know. So you have to be really mindful of, you know, be aware of those type of people, because, you know, it's really toxic, and it's really not healthy. It's not healthy for self-development. You know, self-awareness is something that is really not common. It's like everybody is operating like robots and trying to be everyone else except for themselves, and going within themselves and bringing out the uniqueness and expressing that uniqueness. And because the world is so miserable, everybody wants to project their broken child nature and childish ways onto everybody else. And I just sit back as the observer, and I sit back and I watch, and I sit back and I listen. And it's a big problem, you know. Being able to stop and look at oneself is like a punishment for a lot of people. So what does that say about themselves? What does that say about the person for real? Woo. We got a lot of work to do, don't we? Y'all be easy. Ashe.